Hey guys, how you doing? I am gonna be cooking for Rhinea today. I'm getting ready to leave on security deployment, and I like to leave her behind with some of her favorite things. One of those things happens to be pho, which is a Vietnamese soup. A lot of people around here call it pho. And it is by far one of her most favorite things. We're gonna fast track things a little bit today, and we're gonna be using beef broth, but we're still going to make the rest of the components of that pretty authentic, and we're gonna give it a good flavor. So it's a fast way to do a pho, and it's pretty delicious. This is beef stock. So just a typical beef bouillon. Okay. Which is, kind of a commercially produced beef stock. If I had it my way, then we'd be doing it right from scratch with our own bones and our own actual beef product, so that I knew exactly what was going into it. But in a pinch, this will do.
How many are you going to use?
I pulled 5 out for right now, and I'm gonna see how much ends up in the pot after putting 5 in. If I've got space for more so that I can leave you with a lot of pho to eat while I'm gone, then I'll add more. Now, pho, surprisingly enough, was something that I introduced Rhinea to. It was something that she hadn't had before, and I'm sure there's a lot of soups and stuff in the Philippines to enjoy, but this, like I said, particularly is Vietnamese. It is, I don't know if it's the official dish of Vietnam, but it's definitely a favorite one. It's very, very popular here in Canada as well. There's a lot of pho restaurants for people to go to, so it's become extremely popular around here. It looks like 5 of these is probably going to be the right number to fill this pot all the way. And it is going to reduce while we're cooking as well. And if it reduces too far, you can always add a little bit more, but you do want that concentrated flavor on the stove to get nice and warm. Something that we want in here for sure is some fresh pepper.
It's pepper.
Yeah.
Paminta.
This, the particular stock that I'm using is a no salt stock as well. A lot of times you can get those those beef stocks and stuff like that, and they're very, very salty from the store. So I try and get the ones with no salt. That way I can control the levels of salt that go into everything. So for now, I'll just get a little bit in there. We'll taste as we go and make sure that we have all of the right flavors. Next thing that we want to add, which is mandatory for any type of pho, is fish sauce. It's kind of like the foundation of flavor.
A tablespoon?
Yeah, about a tablespoon per couple liters of stock. Fish sauce can be very, very powerful. But it's a really, really strong flavor on its own, and so it can go a long way. But if you don't have fish stock, then it's not pho as far as anybody is concerned.
We call that patis in Tagalog.
Patis, like fish sauce?
Uh-uh.
Or, yeah, oyster sauce is another one as well. It's really popular, but in this particular case, it's fish sauce that we're after. Throw just a touch of soy in there also.
Okay, so soy sauce is toyo.
Toyo?
Uh-uh.
Toyo for soy sauce.
Uh-uh.
I like to add a little bit of it so it cooks right into the broth.
It's mom.
My mom's calling right now?
Yeah.
Now we need some other ingredients to get ready.
Okay.
They are necessary.
Bean sprout.
Oh, bean sprouts. Yeah, they're very necessary.
I don't know what we call this in our...
I would just call them bean sprouts if I was you.
Okay, onion, garlic, ginger.
Yes.
And what's this? It's chili pepper.
Good. Okay. Some of these things happen at the bowl level.
What's that?
Some of those things, one is mint and one
is mint, and the other one is basil.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so these are all the ingredients
Correct. Also keep in mind, we're gonna run the stock through a sieve before we bring it out, because a nice clear stock is something that's important. The ingredients that didn't dissolve, or the ingredients that don't need to be in there, or some of the herbs and stuff like that that go in. So we're gonna filter the actual stock itself. I want some onion flavor in the stock. It'll give us a little bit of sweetness and just some good flavors. I'm gonna leave one end of it attached, and then that way it doesn't break apart. That way I can take what I want out later, and it filters really, really easy. So we're gonna drop that in. Now, mint is something that goes in at a bowl level in order to create more flavor at the time. But I'm gonna throw a mint leaf in there just to give a little bit of the base flavor to the broth. Also, basil is something that will go in at a bowl level. I like, again, some of these flavors to get built into the broth as well. I don't know, I'm probably doing a whole bunch of things wrong. And I'm sure that there's some chef out there, especially some Vietnamese chef out there, that's gonna tear this to pieces. But it's, at the end of the day, it's soup. So you can make it whatever you want it to be, really. You know, at the end of the day, it's yours, and you're the one eating it. So
It's your version.
so this is my version.
Yeah.
Kind of like my version of adobo. You know,
oh, yeah,
where you have yours, but then I take like the traditional flavors of adobo and then break
with
it
a
down,
twist.
and then break it down into a sauce that I put on chicken wings. You know, which is outstanding, by the way. You should try that. So, anyways, I'm just throwing a clove of garlic in there as well, just to let those flavors kind of attach themselves to the base of the stock, and then those will get filtered out.
We call ginger in Tagalog luya.
Luya.
Oo.
Luya.
Oo.
Sige.
And the garlic is bawang. Bawang.
Bawang?
Oo.
Like with a G? Bawang?
Yes, bawang.
Bawang. Bawang.
And the onion is sibuyas.
Sibuyas. That's same as in like the Dominican that we just got back from.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they would call it the same, right? Sibuyas.
Sibuyas also?
Sibuyas.
Oh, yeah.
See, I'm not a chef, so don't go hating on my knife skills. I'm better at flavor than I am technique.
Are you going to put that all?
This garlic is, I'm getting ready for the bowl. I've got time, you know, while the sauce itself, the stock itself is heating up. So if I got the time, while that happens, then I might as well get my bowls ready too. Because the one thing that I love is that as soon as I possibly can, I like to be able to like have a bowl right away. I love garlic. You have to decide how much you like it or don't like it, but I love it. So anyways, I'm putting in, I don't know what you call that, like a tablespoon, right? Or something like that. Also too, I like fresh ginger. And again, ginger is something that makes this super flavorful. So this is like, I don't know, a teaspoon of ginger. Gives it a little kick, gives it a ton of flavor. These are sweet onions. These have nothing to do with pho whatsoever. I just like eating them. In this particular case, I have yellow onion. Use whatever you want. But I have yellow onion, so we're gonna use yellow onion. The very, very center of the onion tends to be the thing that makes you cry. So if you get rid of that, you cry less. This is a very thin slice is what we're after. This is gonna be for the bowl level. So very, very thin slice.
Yeah, thin slice.
Yeah, that's what we're after. I'm not gonna put this in the bowl early. And I'll tell you why. I like this to be on top, more for a decoration level. What I'm doing in the bottom here is I'm getting this ready for kind of like a flavor enhancer. And again, so over here, I think this is just the way I like my pho flavored. This is soy sauce, and I'm just dropping like a tablespoon in per. I'm putting it in the bottom because when I pour the hot broth in, then that'll be it. Like it'll just mix together. That's why I like to add the liquid now. And then what will happen is when you add that hot stock in later, this will mix in with whatever's on the bottom, right? So, I don't know, it's just a flavor enhancer. This is a personal preference, all right? And again, if I was at a pho shop, they would have typically hoisin and chili paste on the side. And I like a good squeeze of both, and that happens again at the table level in a pho shop. But my wife and I, we both like it, so I'm putting it in advance, and that way when we pour in the hot broth, it will blend. But we're gonna add in some chili paste. All right, like a teaspoon of each. Okay, and again, I'm gonna mix that around so when we pour in the hot broth, everything will mix. And these are all of my favorite flavors that in a pho shop, you would add in at the, like on top of your dish and blend in the flavor. But we kind of know how we like it. And so as a result, we're going to just pre-mix it. And yeah, I don't know, I think that it makes it easier to spread the flavors around. So we're gonna have some onion. We're gonna add some bean sprouts.
I want more of this.
You want lots of that?
Yeah, lots.
I like a lot of that too. Super, super healthy for you.
Yeah, I need it now.
Yeah, very, very fresh. So add a lot of that in as well. Smell that. Super, super fragrant. All right, so this here.
That is basil.
Yeah, fresh basil is awesome, and it tastes really good. Not only does it create a lot of fragrance, but it's tastes great, and it's good for you. Mint's great. Again, another thing that's super fragrant. You know, awesome for you as well. Yeah.
Look at now the onion, the mint, the basil, and bean sprouts.
Yeah.
And the mixture of all the flavors.
Yeah. We like to have thin shavings of the beef, and we cut that against the grain so that it's super tender. If you're having a hard time getting it very thin, that means one of two things. One, you have a terrible knife that isn't sharp, and you should make it sharper. Two is that you can make it easier, and you can get thinner strips if you freeze it before you cut it. Okay.
It's easier to cut.
Way easier to cut if it's frozen. Okay, but we have a sharp knife and we have really thin meat to start with. This is, you know, just a thin piece of flank that we got from the grocery store. But normally we do it with our own venison. But for the sake of speed today and getting a video shot plus having some fun before I leave and hit the road, then we're doing it with regular beef today.
Yeah, but we still have lots of venison. The deer meat, the meat that Kevin hunt last November.
The November that just passed, yeah. We had a
Yeah.
good successful hunt. We got a few deer, so I'm excited about that. And I prefer to have that because it's the cleanest meat around. And it feels good to be able to go out and get your own.
Yeah. Karne ng usa. Deer is usa in Tagalog. Just
Usa?
like USA, yeah, usa. Yeah, the beef,
Yeah.
your basil, mint, onions, bean sprout, and flavors. Yum yum.
The sesame oil. You gotta be very, very careful with it. It's very common. It's very commonly used in a lot of Asian cooking, Asian cuisines. It's very potent. It's kind of like using liquid smoke. If you use too much of it, you'll throw your whole dish off and ruin all of your effort. I know what we'll like or what we won't, so just like a couple drops is enough to create enough, is to give it enough flavor for me. That's the last thing that I like to add in at a bowl level that will cook. So all of those flavors are kind of mixing together with the garlic and the ginger and the chili and kind of creating like a really good base for the soup, which is why I like to have it in here in advance. It's my way of doing it. You do it your way, whatever makes you happy. But I promise you, if you try it like this, you're gonna like it. You wanna try that? Try
What's
it.
that? Mmm. Mmm.
Vermicelli, it's very thin. The reason that I don't love this, although it is a rice noodle, is because it's very thin. It doesn't make it worse or better. It tastes the same. It is what it is, but it's not the same eating experience. It's not. I like a thicker rice noodle. A thicker rice noodle would be more traditional in pho, but I live in a small town with a small grocery store, and this is the only rice noodle that they had. So I guess beggars can't be choosers. Okay, so we've been simmering for a while now, and there's a lot of flavor that's built into this broth. So what we are going to do is we're going to empty it out. I'm probably gonna make a mess because it's full. I should probably do it in the sink too, but I want to be able to show you guys what's going on. So we'll just, I guess, risk the mess.
Okay. We're getting there. I think you should put it all.
One little drop. Crap. Back into the bowl so that we have a clean broth. And coming nice and close. So now we have a nice clean broth. When we're boiling for the final product, and I do mean boiling, we're going to do it that way because we need it at the hottest temperature that it can be when we pour it into the bowl, so that one, all the flavors dissolve really nicely, and two is so that it cooks the beef. Okay. Now, how much rice noodle you use is entirely up to how hungry you are.
I'm hungry.
You're really hungry?
Yeah, maybe.
So,
very hungry.
okay. So what we'll do is we'll take the strainer, just drop it right in. And then that way, when I drop the noodles in.
Are you going to cook it all?
Huh? Yeah. You said you were hungry, right?
Yeah.
Well, we'll cook it all.
Yippee.
Okay, ready? We're gonna pull it all together. We're gonna pull it all together in one shot here. So take a look. Our noodles are ready to go. Again, little tip. If you cook it right inside the strainer, you don't gotta mess around, right? That way, water stays boiling. Leave it right in the strainer. That way, when you're done, you just pull it out and your noodles are ready to go, right? You can take a look. Our broth is boiling, so that's super, super hot. And so it is time to pull it all together. So, we're gonna start getting our noodles ready, and the bottom of the bowl. All right, and again, remember we got all that flavor in the base at the bottom, but it's gonna mix around as soon as we pour all the stuff in, right? So. And add some noodles. Renea's really hungry, so she's getting more noodles than me. I want more broth than noodles right now. All right. Okay, so now here we go. Come on in close. I'm gonna show you how we do this. All right. So Rhinea wants lots of bean sprouts. So we're gonna do it like this. Okay. We're gonna take a little bit of onion. We're gonna add that to the side here. All right, a little bit of onion. Over here, that's the fresh onion. All right, there's the sweet onion. So I'm gonna add a little bit of that to Rhinea's as well. A little bit of sweet onion. Okay, so that's done. This is our basil. All right, so we're gonna throw a little basil in here and over here. Rhinea gets some over here as well. And then our mint, which we're going to, just to get the fragrances going a little bit. There's our mint.
To bring out the flavor.
Yeah, and we just mix that around as well. Okay. Oh, you know what I didn't do, and I'm gonna do really, really quickly too? Watch this. All right. We're gonna throw some meat in here as well. This is our, oops. This is our fresh meat. That's gonna cook right inside the pho. And I like to spread everything around a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys one more trick. We're gonna grab 4 eggs really quickly. We are going to drop in 1, 2, 3, 4 eggs. And if you look at the time, we're at 1:47. We're gonna go exactly 6 minutes, which is exactly the time it takes to cook the perfect soft-boiled egg. Boiling water to
The cold water.
cold water, so that the cooking process stops.
So it's 1:53.
Exactly. So we're
6
exactly
minutes.
6 minutes.
From the
Okay.
boiling water, we transfer it.
And we're gonna transfer from the boiling water to the cold water to stop the cooking process. Soft-boiled eggs. What a great addition to pho. And I'll show you what it looks like after a 6-minute cook. Okay. So this is it, and you should have something that is perfectly soft in the middle. Right? So that's what you're after. Now, we're going to finish with the broth itself.
Okay.
All right, and see how that beef is cooking instantly. All right. You'll see with that boiling water, the beef cooks instantly. And that 500 mils tends to give you a perfect bowl here. So, you know, like I said, about 500 mils per bowl gets you to the perfect amount. And now it's time to enjoy some food together. Come on, baby, let's eat.
Okay, I'm going to try it.
You like it?
Yeah, so yummy. The best pho. And the beef is soft. Sarap. Masarap.
To me, there is absolutely nothing better than a good warm bowl of soup on a cold winter day. And pho or whatever you want to call it happens to be one of my most favorite things to eat. It's so easy. It's so easy to cook at home that anybody can do it. The flavors are great.
How was the taste?
The taste is fantastic. The broth is right on point. Like I said, you can do a 3-day broth if you want. But if you want to eat pho this afternoon, you can do it. And you can do it right now. The flavors will build as it continues to mix and blend with the flavors that we put on the bottom of the bowl. So the dish will keep evolving as you eat it and becoming more and more flavorful. But there's so many there's so many flavors here to enjoy, and it's so deep and rich, and it's just way better than anything you can get out of a can, and it doesn't really take that long. Anybody can do it, and it's something you should do for yourself. It's really not that expensive either. So take some time, make yourself a bowl of pho.